I got it. Okay, so I'm live, no catastrophes. I did not have to call Sylvia and say, Sylvia, help me get on. I did it all by myself. So I'm very, very proud of myself. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Theresa Caputo Fan Club live chat. So I really enjoy doing this with you guys. Keeping everyone still connected, still through these crazy times. As you can see, Victoria has kind of joined us, but not really joined us. She's just sitting in the background. Just sitting there. So I don't know if she's going to pop in or not, but so I hope everyone had a fantastic week. And also, if you guys are out and about going through getting back into society again, please just still do it responsibly and wear a mask and social distance. I know it's, I've been hearing a lot of people saying lately, you know what, I'm so done. I'm so over this. You know what, we all are, but we got to just do this so we can beat this virus and we don't have to continue to close down and we can continue to get back to somewhat of a normal life. So everyone's so excited. Oh, hello, Phoenix, Arizona. One of my favorite places besides Long Island is Phoenix. I love, love, love Arizona. It's one of my favorite places to go. So I guess we'll just get started with some questions that we have that you guys all wrote in. Is Sylvia here? I didn't see Sylvia. Did anyone see Sylvia comment that I was like, oh, I did it all by myself? Because I'm really proud of myself for getting on without having to call. I mean, it's only been, 8 weeks that I've been doing this, that I finally got on by myself without having to call Sylvia and say, help me, Sylvia, help me, Sylvia. So anyway, but, someone's saying something about Long Island. Oh, Alfonso. Hello, Alfonso. So the first question, I better put on my cheaters. Is that what we call them? My lips are so chapped. I was sitting out in the backyard today. I hurt my back, so I was trying to go in the pool and stuff, and my lips got so chapped. Oh, God, these reading glasses, or the cheaters, whatever they are. Mary says, thank you for sharing your time and gift. I appreciate it. Well, you guys know that I appreciate each and every one of you. I really enjoy your live fan club chats. I feel as if I have gone out, but I am completely isolated and safe from the virus. And yet there are people. Is there one hour? Oh, what she's saying is that this is 1 hour of bliss, and thank you for doing, these live chats. She says, I hope you'll be able to continue these live video chats after the virus. Of course, I love doing this. It's something that's kind of really simple and easy, to be able to do it. We might have to change a day or time. I'm trying to stick to Thursdays at 7, so everyone kind of knows what time it is if they can hop on, on the live. So Mary P asked, have I ever done a reading that you're scared of or I didn't feel safe? Oh, and you're coming to my New Hampshire show in November. So I do too hope, Mary, that I will be able to come to New Hampshire in November. It's different. When I'm reading someone, I don't have my own personal thoughts, feelings, or emotions. So I'm not really scared. Sometimes, it can be uneasy sometimes when you have to, channel a loved one for someone and you can feel on how sad, they are, how much they miss their loved one and things like that. But it's never really, I wouldn't say scary. It's kind of just sometimes an uneasy feeling. But, especially if somebody was murdered and things like that, that's, it can just get a little uncomfortable. But when I'm reading, I'm never scared because I know that spirit is not going to hurt, me, or the message is not going to be helpful, that these messages are for the highest good of all concerned. So I am afraid of the dark, though. So go figure that. So I'm not scared when I'm doing a reading. I'm scared of the dark. So that's a little funny thing there. So Julie also says that she appreciates these live chats. Even though I have never submitted a question or comment, I always receive a message from these events. Thank you, Theresa, and your staff for all you do. You are so appreciated. So that's the thing that I love, Julie. And I'm glad you wrote in about that, because that's one thing that I say, because sometimes I do kind of go down and I read comments, or not really reading them, if spirit has me look at them. And I'm able to then connect with spirit and be able to deliver messages. And there's so many of us on here that we're able to take something from what spirit has me say. So I want to thank you, Mary, for Julie, for having me say that. So I hope everyone does get a little something from these live chats, even if it's just a little bit of hope. Maybe it just brings a little peace or something to look forward to. But if you're able to receive a message from your loved one, that's even better. So Ella says, my grandma was very religious and believed in heaven, but never believed that we could connect with people that departed. Do you think that despite her not believing, that it's still possible for her spirit to come through? Also, today is my birthday. Thank you for doing this live chat on my special day. Well, Ella, I hope you're tuning in and you're not busy celebrating or having cake. So absolutely. The thing that I love is that a lot of times spirit will come through and they'll say, oh my God, I would always make fun of my family when they would watch your show. I don't really believe in what you do. This is so amazing. But what happens is when the soul leaves the physical world and they see things so differently from the other side, that they realize that they do have that ability to still be able to kind of communicate with us. It's kind of like the movie Sixth Sense on when Patrick Swayze, when he was discovering that he was able to make his presence be known. It's really kind of like that. So, and spirit has said that to me. They're like, I don't believe in this. How could this be? So what I did see, Ella, when I was reading your question, I did see gardenias. So now gardenias is my symbol for, it could be someone's favorite flower. It could be maybe you connect with flowers with your grandmother, but it's always my symbol for where there's a mother figure being able to connect with flowers, or more importantly, that you are smelling something that reminds you of your grandmother. I don't care what it is. It's something that you shouldn't be smelling and it comes from out of nowhere and you just know, or you might just think of her. Know that that is her soul that is with you at that exact moment. So I hope, Ella, you were able to tune in and see that. I don't see Ella, but I also can't read. You guys know I can't read these comments very well on the side. Kathy says, if two people pass together suddenly, is that transition different than the person who dies expectedly? So, I see what they're saying, if they die. So I'm not really sure on how the question is, Kathy, but I will explain to you that a soul, when it re-enters the other side, depending on what level they enter at, so people can be at different levels, and they might transition differently, but it doesn't mean that they're not at peace. So what I mean by that is, let's hypothetically say there are two, a mother and a father that pass, and say the mom has less lessons to learn on the other side. Her soul might enter at this level, and say dad's soul enters at this level. Mom is able to lower her vibration to be with dad so they can grow and learn lessons, and dad's soul can continue to grow on the other side. But dad can't raise his vibration until he learns those lessons. So that's how spirit has shown it to me. So even though we might transition differently and enter on different levels on the other side, doesn't mean that they're not together. Okay. So does spirit get frustrated when we can't figure out if it's them trying to communicate with us or if we think it's someone else? Well, Ruby Ann, spirit sometimes gets frustrated with me because sometimes they show me things so quick and I just grab the first thing that I see. And then sometimes they'll go, I showed you this 5 minutes ago. You didn't say this. So it's not really that spirit gets frustrated. It's hard. What happens is, that's why I always tape all of my readings, because I feel that it's important, because a reading is almost like a movie. When you watch a movie for the first time and then you watch it the second and third time, and you get so much more out of it when you watch it the second, third time. It's the same thing with the reading, because spirit brings up things that you're not expecting them to talk about. So spirit really doesn't get frustrated. I don't get frustrated because I know that spirit has me say things for a reason, and it's always validated later on, even if it's not right at that moment. It always happens. I don't know if you guys checked out my, I did Justin Long's podcast, and that was a very, very interesting podcast. And it was also interesting on what Justin and his brother had a conversation about the reading after, and then when they brought Maggie back in, who was read, what she had to say. So, it aired, I believe it was last Thursday it aired. So if you guys haven't had, a chance to check it out, you could check out Justin Long's podcast. It was really, really incredible. So that would be a perfect example of if you want to use it as like a frustration, or us not being able to connect and put the things together at that exact moment, that is a great thing for you guys to listen to kind of check that out. Oh, so Cindy wants to know what brand of angel cards I use. Victoria, can you pass me my angel cards? I think, I told you guys, these angel cards, I've had probably for about 20 years. This was my first angel deck. I have another angel deck that I can't seem to find. I know it's somewhere, but you know how it goes, guys. You know, you always put something in a safe place and then you can't find it. But these are from Doreen Virtue. They're great. I've had them for, like I said, about 20 years. I love them. As you can see, Victoria uses them. I think Victoria picked a card for you guys for me to read because she always likes to do that. Manifest. So Deb says, is there a difference between a psychic and a medium? So I would say a psychic is someone that also, a lot of people say that you have to be psychic to be a medium. So what makes me a medium is that I'm able to connect with the souls that crossed over and be able to deliver healing messages. Psychics sometimes predict the future and things like that. But I don't think I do things like that. I just feel that I use my gift as for healing purposes. And you guys heard me say this before. When I struggled with my gift, because people always say, oh, can't you give me the lotto numbers and stuff like that? But I'm able to actually sense and feel of the souls of the departed. So it was something that I struggled with as when I discovered my gift was, why would I do this? Who would want to come and see a medium and connect with their loved ones that have died? And what I've learned is that we are left with burdens and guilt here in the physical world after the loss of a loved one. So I consider myself a medium, someone that has the ability to connect with souls of the departed, sense and feel, and be able to deliver messages to help us heal and move on here in the physical world. Barbara, you asked something, and what I saw were two headstones. So yes, they are together. I tasted blood, so I don't know if they passed tragically or if there was some type of accident with the departure. Barbara, I don't know. It's going so fast, I can't see it again. But I don't know if you're able to validate that. Oh, so Stephanie, I was reading something what you had wrote, and what happened is that when Spirit puts me in a front door and I trip over like a couch or a chair or an ottoman, that's my symbol for there were changes. And then I saw something about a porch or a deck. So I don't know if you built one or if you took one down, whatever it may be. Oh, okay. So Beverly asked about the soul circle, and did somebody ask a question about, yes, Beverly, the soul circle. I will answer that in 1 minute. 1 minute. Isn't that Italian? Anyway, Maria says, my mom hears and sees spirit around her, usually at night, sometimes waking her up. Her question is, does spirit make loud noises? So what happens is, why spirit comes to us and why people feel that they feel the souls of the departed at night is because our minds are at rest. If you ever notice, if you might be vacuuming, doing a mindless task. Sometimes when I'm drying my hair, I tend to sometimes sense and feel things, but that's because I'm doing a mindless task and my mind is at rest. I always refer to when we sleep between the hours of 12 and 5, those are our teaching hours. That's when the soul is able to come to us and kind of heal us, maybe show us things. Some people have dreams. So that is when spirit is most active. Sometimes people do hear footsteps. Sometimes people hear doors opening, closing. So spirit can move things and they might tend to make noise. Sometimes people hear their loved ones call their name or they might hear their voice. So I always say this to everyone, please know that anything that goes on around you that is odd, weird, a coincidence, know that that is your loved one. You know what you're hearing, you know what you're feeling, you know you're not crazy, so know that that is them. Maria, if you want to share with your mom, what she can do is, it's something that I always tell all my clients or people that are very sensitive to spirit or having trouble sleeping at night, to always protect yourself in God's white light. When you go to bed, just imagine a door closing at the top of your head and then just tell them, thank you for loving, guiding, and protecting me, but this is my space and this is when I need to sleep. So it's almost like by closing the door, it's like saying, please don't bother me while I sleep, but you're thanking them for their love and protection. So I hope that helps your mom. So Beverly says, last week you mentioned soul circle and I'd like to know more. Can you please get into more detail on the soul circle? Thank you for all you do. So what Spirit has referred to is that soul circles is when our souls depart. So the best way I could describe it is, I don't know if you've ever done a past life regression. So what happens is I've done past life regressions, and I was once I was a man, and I was searching for someone that was in a fire. I was looking for my brother. And when the person that was conducting the past life regression said to me, oh, when I found my brother, she said, look in his eyes and who do you see? And I ended up seeing my nephew in the physical world that is my brother's son. So from what Spirit says is that, you know, when you meet someone, even someone in your family, you feel like that instant connection where you've known them forever. When we pass, when our soul circle is complete, that's when the souls then re-enter different lifetimes. So that's why there's someone in your life now that you might have shared in another lifetime before. So I could be like, say, my daughter Victoria, she might have been my mother in a previous life. And how I can validate this also is that, and sometimes the soul circle will re-enter quickly. So I had a woman, one time I was doing a group, and sometimes that happens when there's still a lot of souls still here in the physical world. I had a girl that I was reading her, and I said, I feel like I see your sister, but then I don't see her anymore. And then I kept seeing a little girl. And I said, do you see your sister and your daughter? And what happened is when her sister had first departed, she would see her all the time in dreams. And then all of a sudden she stopped seeing her. But that happened when her daughter was born. So her sister's soul actually re-entered into her daughter, and that her daughter was the soul of her sister. So we're always connected. So you might not have the same relationship and bond in this physical lifetime, but it might be something different. Does that make sense? Did I explain that right, Victoria, do you think? What do you think I should explain it differently?
What?
The soul circle. What? Did you hear anything that I said about the soul circle?
Yeah, like I could be like your mother.
Yeah, but did I explain it good enough?
Yeah, didn't you do another past life regression where you were a queen and you got beheaded?
Yeah, I was a queen, and then I was also a wife of an Egyptian souls. Oh, everyone's saying hi to Doug. Oh, Victoria, Laura says hello. I don't know why this does this. Someone says, Laura says hello, Victoria.
Laura.
And so, and look, just because you're not dreaming of your loved one, it doesn't mean that they're not still with you in spirit. This was just this one isolated incident. And from what it was explained to me from Spirit was because there was still this more of the soul circle still here in the physical world. So she was able to re-enter. So is there... Oh, so someone's asking about the podcast. So there might be, like, if you go on my, I think it's still on my Instagram page for the thing, but it's Life is Short with Justin Long. So I had it on there. I think you could still listen on my on there. If not, you can just go to his podcast, his link. But it was really, really, really an amazing. I really loved how they shared on how they were like struggling with, like, okay, is this real? Because I guess his brother wasn't really a believer in what I did. And then, you know, once Maggie started validating things, it changed their mind. Oh, so Nancy's asking about 1111. So 1111 is a very spiritual number. It's one of the highest numbers you can see. So a lot of times that spirit getting your attention to get you to look at the clock at that moment. So sometimes for me, I know that I always see 711, and ever since I was a kid. So I know that that's my spirit guides getting my attention and letting me know that they're with me at that moment. Some people have it for their loved ones. Sometimes they might see the year that they died. Sometimes they might just see the same time, 333, 444. Sometimes they see the time that they died, maybe a date, but it's always repetitive, and know that that is your loved ones. So, and it's not that they are the time or they are the clock. It's just, it's their soul that is getting you to look at at that exact moment. So now we have Barbara says, "Hi, Theresa. Are there second chances? I had a baby boy that only lived 13 hours. 3 months later, pregnant again and had another baby boy and everything was fine. Did the first baby get another chance at life?" As I was reading this, Barbara, I heard yes. From the minute I said, "Hi, Theresa, second chances." I don't really read these questions before. So know that, yes, that was the same soul. Again, that does not always happen. But isn't that interesting on the question that Beverly was asking about the soul circle? So I hope you were able to, Barbara, that you're on tonight and knowing that the soul that had departed was re-entered. As I was also reading this, I kept seeing a blanket. So usually when they show me a blanket, it depends on how the blanket is presented to me, but I saw a blanket folded over a crib. So know that that is Spirit's way of showing me that, yes, that you must also have the same blanket from the son that departed. And then you might be using it now. And there was a mother energy that was showing me that. So I don't know if it's your mom or maybe your grandmother, because you know the way that I feel the souls, I feel the bonds and relationship that you shared with them. So if it's a mom, it could be a mom, mother-in-law, grandmother. It could be an aunt that was like a mother to you, but that's where the information was coming from. Now, Barbara, you must have a lot of loved ones on the other side, because now I just saw a whole bunch of souls stepping forward. So just know that they're the ones that are giving me the information about the soul re-entering here in the physical world. Michelle says, "I've been reading people's posts during the live chats and saying and have been saying little prayers for them to find comfort, peace, and healing. Yet I feel like I'm getting the things I'm praying for other people to get. Is this legit? What do you think? Is this a thing or am I imagining it?" Absolutely not, Michelle. I love what you wrote in, and more importantly, I love what you're doing for everyone on this live chat, because it is something that I always say to everyone. You have to put out positive intentions. You have to raise your vibration. You have to always put positive things out to the universe, because what you do affects everyone else around you. So this is very, very important. And if you're praying and saying and talking to spirit, to however you want to interpret it, for everyone to find peace and comfort, maybe messages from their departed loved ones, and then you are yourself, that's just good karma, right? That's how I look at it. But nothing is an imagination. You know, you can't make that up. If you're asking for the highest good of all concern for other people and you're receiving that yourself, that's just God's way of saying thank you. Rosemary says, "Does spirit remember that past life hurts from their dearest family members? And if so, do they forgive? My dad and I never really had a chance to make amends since he was very sick at the end and passed away very quickly. Thank you." So, Rosemary, so what happens is when the soul leaves the physical world, they have to review their life here in the physical world. So your dad has to relive his life through your eyes. So he will learn that lesson. So they really don't carry the hurt. They learn the lesson and then they move forward. Sometimes what they say is, you know, when we have deja vu or things like that, that's our soul remembering things from a past life. But what I saw, as I was also telling you about when a soul relives a life through our eyes, is that I saw your dad say, I felt a soul step forward and say that they needed to take responsibility for their part. This does not mean that you were right and your dad was wrong for whatever separation you had over the years or disagreements. He's taking responsibility for his part, which means that his soul did see on how, if he handled things a little bit differently, on how maybe things could have turned out. So I hope you find comfort in that, Michelle. And I also saw change. So I don't know if you find change in odd places, Michelle. I don't know if you're on here. But know that if you find change in odd places, like if all of a sudden you're walking in a parking lot and you look down and all of a sudden you see a quarter, and then you go to your car and then there's a quarter sitting on your seat. Or every time for me, when I open up a travel bag, like a suitcase or a duffel bag, I always find a dime. My grandmother leaves me dimes. And it's like, why would I have a dime in my suitcase? You know, I put my clothes and my shampoo and my hairdryer. So why why would a dime be in there? So it's always like in this odd or weird place. So Tammy says, when you sage home, what do you say? Do you say a prayer, open a window, and fan towards a window? Hopefully, I can see you live. Also, thank you for the gift card and the pay it forward. Was excited to win. Take care and God bless you and your family. Thanks, Tammy. So with sage, I do at my live shows, I do sell sage kits, and what you do you could always say a prayer. You always protect yourself in God's white light. Again, everyone's faith is different. I always say like a mini novena. I always say, a couple of Hail Marys and Our Fathers as I'm doing a saging. But basically what you want to do for saging, you're just asking all negative energy to leave the space, to go to the light, and then just ask you could just put out all positive intentions that you desire for that space. So like if you have a child that is having trouble sleeping, you can say, please, all negative energy, go to the light. This is Sally's space. Thank you for watching over her. We only have, oh, Jesus, now I forgot, because now I felt like I was picking up something else. I kept seeing like parents stepping forward. So you can say, this is Sally's space. This is her time for rest. And then say, if she was like struggling with self-esteem, you can say, I desire, strong self-esteem. And whatever it is that you desire for that space. Sometimes in a living room, family time. Sometimes when I would say to the kitchen, I would say that I don't burn the garlic bread. But so it's whatever positive intentions you want to set for that space. So it's not, and you can open a window, sometimes, it depends on what you're saging. Opening a window is when you really want to do a house clearing and a cleansing. If you just want to, sometimes people just sage just because they just want to freshen up the space. Sometimes people feel lighter or they just feel calm after they sage. So you don't always have to open a window. It's up to you. It's honestly whatever you feel comfortable with. And always remember like positive intentions, like, respect, love. Like with my children, I would always say that, for self-esteem, for confidence, to be, I can't even remember. Why does this always happen to me? This is what happens to me. But whatever it is you desire for that space, I think you got it. So Jeff says, have you ever felt a catastrophe was going to occur soon before it happened? Has spirit ever tried to warn you? Earthquakes, hurricanes, tornado, etc. And the answer, Jeff, is no. So what has happened, like I might get an uneasy feeling. I might feel that something isn't right, but I don't receive information like that. There are some people that do. Some people have dreams. Sometimes people feel that they can predict things that are going to happen. And I can tell you an example of this is like 9/11. The day before, on September 10th, I just had an uneasy feeling all day long. No matter what it was, I just felt very uneasy. I didn't sleep for a couple of days before, and I had felt very. My anxiety was pretty strong then. And then 9/11 happened. So a lot of times we get like an uneasy feeling. I might not know exactly what's going to happen, but I can tell I will sometimes feel uneasy. So, but never anything so specific like that. Yasmin says, my family and I were in a horrific car. All I saw were angel wings around it. So my family and I were in a horrific car accident on June 20th. The car was totaled, but not one scratch on any of us in the car. Was it divine intervention? Absolutely. I saw two souls, and then I saw the angel wings around the car. As I just said, my family and I. So know that you were protected by spirit. Carmen says, I always see hearts everywhere. I say this to people and they look at me like I'm crazy. And then when we're out somewhere, I'll point it out like a heart in the sky in the middle of the grass. Places where you aren't expecting it. Those are signs and symbols from our departed loved ones. And they all get spooked out. I always think it has to be someone. At least it is what I want it to be. Absolutely. So know that whoever it is that you think of at that exact moment, know that that is the soul of your departed loved one. I did see your mother energy starting to step forward. So know that that is your loved ones. Marissa says, when you pass and you stop breathing, do you breathe as a spirit? I'm petrified of not being able to breathe. I'm very in touch with the spirit world. I'm always being directed to the clock at certain times. I have visitations, dreams of people who have passed, and my brother communicates through me through electronics. In spite of all this, I'm afraid to stop breathing. Thank you. We love you. So, Marissa, I think that we're always afraid of the unknown. And a lot of times, especially, and that was interesting because when I was saying before about the breath, how I always say, when I can't take a deep breath, that's always someone passes of the breath. And it's always, spirit always wants me to say with that is, please do not remember me in that way, not being able to breathe. From the moment that soul leaves the physical body, they leave behind every disability and or ailment. They did not take it with them on the other side. And I don't know, this over here, I just saw something. I don't know what it was, but I heard that I didn't realize that I was dying. So, and then I just felt so peaceful. So that's also Spirit's way of saying that they weren't afraid when they died. I don't know if someone passed unexpectedly or if they passed tragically, but that's what I saw. So know that you do not, there are no ailments on the other side. So know that you're not going to be struggling to breathe. And your brother is telling me he tried to tell you this in a dream. And because then what I saw was like the breathing. So know that whatever they tell you in your dreams of trying to comfort you in not being able to be afraid. Look, I think we're all afraid of dying, right? Because we're afraid of the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen, but know that you're not going to struggle with the breath. My mom got me interested in watching your show, and she passed away from colon cancer 3 years ago this October. My question is that I have a cell phone that was disconnected. Oh, this is so your mom. That was disconnected, turned off, and one morning it started ringing. Shut up. But no one was calling. Was that a sign from Spirit? Absolutely. The Spirit has the ability. Electronics are so, and listen, I'm going to say electronics is easy, or like lights flickering. I don't know how in God's name she's able to make a phone go off that isn't even connected or turned on. It's the same thing. Sometimes souls will talk about if there's like a toy in the room and it goes off for no reason, no one's playing with it, no one's touching it, it's not on. Know that that is the soul of your loved one. Their energy is so strong that it's actually setting it off. Sometimes a flickering of a light, a doorbell. So know that that is your mother. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you ever get the phone, it'll ring and there's nothing there, or it'll just say zero, like the whole phone number is zero. Who has a zero phone number? So know that these things are Spirit, and more importantly, know that that was your mom. Doug Davis. Hello, Doug Davis. Doug Davis, are you here? I'm sure you're in this chat, Doug. I saw everyone saying hello. So during this, I looked over and people are saying hello to Doug. Yes, Doug Davis. Hello, I see you. So Doug says, can you please give a shout out to Rushville Goodwell, as well as to my bestie, Stacy? Hello, God. Well, listen, any friend of Doug Davis is a friend of mine. Doug, you're so cute. So hello, Rushville Goodwell and Stacy. My favorite color is blue. So don't know why, but my favorite color is blue. So I am going to say, let's see if we can look at some of these things here. Hello, Doug. Yes, I know you're here. Oh, I don't know why spirits connect with electronics. The only thing that I can think of is because it's their energy, and it's energy, and they're able to get things to turn on and off. So I don't know. Well, oh, so Beverly, yes, you will see your son, because with the soul circle, his soul won't re-enter until we get onto the other side. That was an isolated incident that of only that one time that I ever saw that, where a soul had re-entered into someone else here in the physical world. But you know what? I didn't share this. This is what her mom prayed for. And it was interesting because her mom prayed to Saint Theresa to have her daughter re-enter into the soul of her grandchild. So that was a very, very isolated incident. It was only that one time of when I ever saw that. And so I already saw what I saw was the extended hand, which is my symbol for that your son will greet you when it is your time to leave. He will be there to greet you. And I kept seeing some type of necklace, Beverly. I did see a heart necklace. So I don't know if that is, if you have something in memory of your son, or if you wear a necklace or something in memory and or in honor of him. And then, so I don't know also if it's a heart necklace as well. So I will see if you are on here still. If you, Doug, Doug saying hi to Lynn. This is what I love. You guys are so sweet to each other. But it really shows on how this is a real family, on how we are here to continue. Oh, so someone I just saw, Reagan said, I don't know if that's your name, but all I saw was mad at me, and I saw absolutely not. And then I saw someone hold their hands out like this, which is my symbol for where they kept us at a safe distance. And we're, again, taking responsibility for that. Lynn. Oh, Doug is your buddy, Lynn? Hey, Lynn, how are you? I'm trying to read to see if she understood that. Oh, was there someone on here that I talked about before? I keep seeing two girls. They're young, so I don't know if they were sisters or friends. They just keep stepping forward. So I don't know if someone is asking about sisters or two friends that passed together. There are two sets, and then one I felt was tragic. I think I talked about this before because I kept tasting the blood. So know that the souls are at peace. And then there was also something where two souls, I don't know where it comes in. I don't know if it had to, if someone, there's a young boy stepping forward, and there's something about, now remember, young for me is someone that left the physical world before we feel their time. And he put me in a cemetery and went like this. So when spirit does that, that's my symbol for where we didn't know how to lay them to rest, or where we should lay them to rest, or if we didn't know if they were happy on how we chose to lay them to rest. So know that the soul is taking responsibility, and more importantly, saying, I support on where and how you laid me to rest. And then someone's mom was stepping forward, and I said wanted to take responsibility. So again, when spirit wants to take responsibility, it means that when we feel that we could have done something more, where we might have disappointed them or hurt them, or maybe they might be mad at us, it is spirit's way of saying, please, I'm going to take responsibility from my part. I don't want you to carry that burden. And again, I keep seeing this pushing of the hands. So this is my symbol for that where they kept you at a safe distance, or maybe they didn't tell you everything. So know that you cannot, it's not fair to go back. It's not fair to you to go back and to look and say, oh, she must be upset with me. Because you're not putting yourself in that position where you were back then. And I don't know where the Alzheimer's comes in or the dementia. So I don't know if I'm shifting or if this is also for the same mother energy. I also felt like I was not the same at the time of my departure. So, Beverly says, can souls be happy and sad? So you have to understand, we're the ones that are sad because we're left here in the physical world to continue this life without them. So they don't really miss us, or they're not sad because they are still with us, just in a different way. So I can't read this too fast. Let me see. Maybe I could take a. Oh no, I need my reading glasses. I thought Victoria was going to help me and read some of the questions that if someone had, because it might be easier for me. I'm going to have to try that next. Oh, so Rachel says, I saw Wait, geez, I can't read that. That went too fast. That went too fast. Okay, so what happens is when I look here and the messages go so fast, I just go by what I'm feeling as I'm looking at it. So what I kept seeing is a separation. So my symbol for separation could be sometimes somebody was in another state. Sometimes someone lived on the when I see East Coast, West Coast, that there was a separation, communication, geographical. And we might feel that we weren't there for them, or if we were there, things could have been different. So know that wherever the separation comes in, again, tonight is all about responsibility, which is very, very interesting. So when they want to take responsibility for that separation, again, whatever it is, if that you weren't speaking, or if there was a travel, vacation, or someone just lived in another country, they take responsibility for that, not feeling that we weren't there for them, or more importantly, that we could have done more for them. And that is also for the mom that came in before. I felt like that they were taking responsibility for not sharing all the information. Like, I kept my illness, or I kept what was going on away from you. Like, I didn't share all of that. So how could you have helped me or done anything for me where I kept you at that safe distance and I didn't tell you everything that was going on? So I hope that someone can find comfort in that, knowing that they have to take responsibility for that. They're taking the responsibility for not sharing a lot of the information with you. So there is no time. I've had souls that have come forward and have said, "Oh, I've been passed for 40 years. I've been passed. I've been passed 5 minutes, half hour." So I haven't had that experience where someone has been passed too long to connect. So, okay. When I looked over here, I saw 2 souls step together and they held hands. So that's my symbol for that they were directly connected. So usually that's if it's for mother and father. And then I saw them pass kind of, this is a separate parent where they kind of, where they pass close together, like one right after another. Because when I see a broken heart, that's my symbol for where someone died of a broken heart, or one right after the other. Okay, so Leona, this is interesting because I was able to read yours. So I felt like I let my nephew down. So Leona, this all goes. So this is the insane thing. When I keep seeing things over and over and over again, Spirit just had me focus right in on that message that you sent, Leona. Again, what I felt as I read your message was, he made me feel like that you were always there for him. That door was always open, kept you at a safe distance at time, or didn't tell you everything. Does that make, I'm wondering, I'm talking, does that make sense? Like, as if you're going to answer me right this second, like I'm going to hear you. I have to pray that I'm going to be able to see if you understand that, Leona. So where it was, and it was almost like I felt this connection of like, how could you have let me down? You were the one that was always there for me. You were like a mom to me. You did everything that you could for me. So know that, again, what this is saying, when Spirit takes responsibility, not leaving us with that burden for whatever their choice is, or, not telling us everything that was going on, or sometimes not being truthful with us, hypothetically speaking, like if someone was addicted to narcotics and, they had stopped and then they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not doing anything anymore." And then meanwhile, they are doing drugs, and then they pass of an overdose. So those are things of where Spirit takes responsibility, not being truthful with us, not telling us everything. So I'm not seeing Leona answer again. So I don't know if that she was able to connect with that. So I dreamt my dad with my children, that my sister and I couldn't, but I just kept seeing uh, hands being held. So that's my symbol that all of the souls, we are greeted, and all of the souls are together on the other side. So I am also having trouble breathing. I just stopped and had just trouble breathing. So I think I answered this before. So something about the young, but when I said that I wasn't afraid to die, I had said that earlier. I think someone was asking about that again, but there was something with the chest, and then I kept seeing the breathing of the chest. So that's my symbol for. And then when I hear I'm not afraid to die, know that that is Spirit's way of letting us know that they were not afraid, especially if they passed tragically. Okay, so Leola, this is what I love. You said, yes, you can understand. And then you said, I feel like I wasn't that close to him. So that's why he made me feel that. So again, taking responsibility for his actions. Do you understand that? But made me feel as if you were like a mother figure to him. So it validates that, you feel like you could have been closer or you could have done more. It is not fair for you to beat yourself up for that. So, I don't know. Let me see. So I thought I had another page of questions, but I didn't. I think I answered them all from last week. I'm trying to read this. Oh, so Jane, she's from Wales, was asking, do I get emotional? So sometimes what happens is, as I'm reading, sometimes what happens is Spirit, when I read, I have to remove myself. I have like no personal thoughts, feelings, and emotions. But sometimes Spirit does get to that part in my soul where I do become emotional. And, sometimes it happens when a parent loses a child. Sometimes it could be if someone loses their mom, maybe their dad. One time it even happened when someone lost their dog. I remember I was doing a live show and it was like sobbing, like I had lost a son. And it turned out that this was this woman's dog, and, her dog was like her son. So it can happen because I can't be an emotional mess when I'm delivering messages, so that's why I really can't feel and take on my own feelings and emotions. But sometimes they do just get to that little spot, and they just get me and I just break down. You think, you guys, if you watch Long Island Medium, you see that I break down every once in a while. It's just, it's very, very hard, because as strong as we have to be, delivering these messages, they're not easy. I always say I make what I do look easy. It's the hardest thing that I have to do. And I just saw someone asked about Louis. Louis doing better. He actually has high blood pressure. So I took him back to the vet yesterday, and he has high blood pressure. So he's on high blood pressure medication. So I don't know what Victoria did with my card. Does anyone remember what card she said she picked? Oh, so it's very interesting. I think did she pick manifestation? And then the card that was on top of it was focus. So I think I'm going to read you guys both these cards. So I will read manifestation first. So manifestation. The meaning of this card is, have you manifested new opportunities and abundance? Know that you can experience these gifts right now. You're hopeful for aspirations You hoped for aspirations are on their way to you. They may arrive in different fashion than you expected, but the rewards that you truly desire, such as feelings of peace, security, and happiness, are manifested exactly as you requested. Ask your angels to help you have faith in your ability to manifest. With this faith, You and God can do anything. This is the process by which all thoughts transform into tangible form. First, they begin as an idea born of divine sources. This is exactly what we picked. We had divine timing last week. And this is exactly what I was talking about, of placing intentions out to the universe. Then an idea meets with a feeling. If the feeling is loving and nurturing, the idea and the feeling create the embryo of the manifestation. You nourish your newborn idea by believing in it and by following the step-by-step guidance that God and the angels give you through your feelings, dreams, and visions. So this is just another way of saying, of manifestation, of when I was telling you guys all through the pandemic to visualize what your life was going to look like after the pandemic, what you visioned you to be. Maybe it was a different career. Maybe it was moving. Everyone's life is so different, and is going to be different after this pandemic. So I love how that card kind of followed up the cards that we picked last week. So focus is, think about what, all right, this is getting ridiculous with these cards. Focus, think about what you want, not what you don't want. Guard your thoughts carefully because they create your experiences. This is insane. Sometimes it seems that our thoughts choose us, but this is never the case. We always choose our thoughts every moment. Our thoughts always have an effect, and there are no neutral thoughts. 1/2 second before you hold a thought, you decide to hold it. So which practice you can learn to monitor and alter your thoughts. This is equivalent of putting your hands on a steering wheel of your life. You may believe that your concentration abilities are impaired, yet the infallible mind of God is within your own mind. You can experience remarkable feats of concentration by affirming, I am now able to focus my mind at will. I hold only loving thoughts, and my angels act as gatekeepers in establishing a steady stream of thoughts of love. So the thing that I love about this is something that I was also talking about with my family. And I think I've even talked about it on a couple of live chats, on where, a lot of times we react on an emotion. So sometimes when something comes up, our first thought might be an emotion. Let's just say, if, I know this happens in my house on a daily basis, where I got to pick up my kid's stuff. It's laying all over the house. So when I see it, right, my first thing is, these kids, they're leaving their crap all over the house, right? And I can yell like a lunatic, get down here and pick up your stuff. Or I can say, all right, I'm upset. This is their stuff. I could gather that stuff all in one pile and say, guys, come in here. I left your stuff. Go put it away in your room. So your first thought is an emotion. You never want to react on an emotion. Go with the second thought, or what your feeling is after that. You feel that, so when it's first, like, you get so mad and frustrated, right? So that's that anger. We don't want to react on that. So now we wait for the next feeling or a decision that we can make on how we want to handle it. So we never, ever, ever want to react on an emotion. And the thing that I also love, that was like a little mantra that they gave you. That's something about my new book, Good Morning. What I love about my new book, Good Morning. It's Good Morning, moving through everyday losses and wisdom from the other side. I know I've been talking about this, but I am so excited for this book to come out in October. You guys can get it on pre-sale now. Just go to my website at theresacaputo.com if you haven't already done so. And not too many people know this, but I felt this need to write this book in around 2018. It was the time when I was going through my divorce, and I didn't feel at that time that it was the right timing to write a book, but I felt Spirit kept pushing me to write about daily losses, and I really didn't know what that meant at first. And, so I wrote the book last year, and it really is amazing on each chapter that the book is about. So I have here, chapter 1 is a loss, explaining what everyday losses are. And there's a chapter on losing a friend, losing faith, losing control, losing our financial stability, our job, losing a home. And these are all things that are going on right now during this pandemic. I even have a chapter on a routine, losing our routine, losing our identity, losing an argument, losing trust. And that, I think, is a lot of things that we are all going through right now. So I think that, and what reminded me of this was, at each end of the chapter, I give you a mantra to say to kind of help you get through that daily loss, whatever it is. So I think that's what I loved, because on that card focus, that's what they left you with, was that mantra. And it was, I am now. So it's almost like what it is doing is actually asking you to clear your mind and be focused on yourself and what you're able to do, and only hold positive, loving thoughts. And we are putting that out into the universe. And that's actually what I started tonight's live chat with, was reminding you all to continue to raise your vibration with peace, love, happiness, joy, and most importantly, hope. And that will raise everyone else's vibration around you. Let's face it, when you're in a bad mood, I know it's a saying, but when mom is not happy, nobody's happy. It's kind of, the same thing. You walk into a room like a sourpuss, you're going to kind of dampen the mood. But if you walk in with a raised vibration, and, that's contagious. So let's make our thoughts and what we put out to the universe, let the contagiousness be peace, love, happiness, joy, contentment, respect, and most importantly, hopeful. So I love you guys so much. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. It's going to be a hot one this weekend, so stay cool, guys. And always remember, if you are out and about, please wear a mask. Please stay 6 feet apart. We still have to kind of listen to our officials on what they're advising us to do, to beat this virus and to kind of find some type of normalcy back in our lives. So I wish you guys all the best. We'll continue to pray for you. God bless. And you guys have a fantastic evening.